Hiya, I'm Pimmie and I want to show something about spinning on a walking wheel or a great wheel. And I have a lot of little tricks that make spinning on it nicer and easier, and I wanted to share those. And this wheel for start now has an empty spindle, and I have a stopper at the end of the spindle. So let's start there, because the end is pointy. Mine isn't very sharp, but if you have an antique walking wheel, then this might be worn down to a very sharp point. So I have something to stick over the end so kids don't poke their eyes out. So a stopper. The other thing I wanted to show is how to make a removable cop on a spindle, and this works both on a walking wheel, a spindle wheel, or on a support spindle or a drop spindle. And it works with every spindle that has a smooth shaft that doesn't have any bumps on the shaft, because then you won't be able to slide off the yarn you've spun. I am going to start with a piece of parchment paper, greaseproof paper, and I need only half of this. This is bread paper, but I'm going to use it to put on the spindle and secure it there, and after I've spun all my yarn, I can just slide the cop off, and it'll look like this with the paper still inside, and I slide it off with the paper, and I can just stick a skewer in the middle. When I take it off, I put the skewer parallel to the spindle, and I just slide the cop off. And the paper in the middle, you don't really need to skewer. The paper in the middle will also help the cop not collapse. I am going to wind this on. I'm going to make the tip a bit wet, one tip, and I put it on here, a bit diagonal, and I have a piece of string as a leader. This has been a while. I think I put it underneath, and I put my leader on the paper as well. The end of my leader, and I turn the wheel a bit, or turn the spindle a bit, and I wind on the paper as well as the leader. And the leader is going to secure the paper, and that stays on this way, and I have my start to start spinning. Wil jij daar naartoe lopen dat je het kunt zien? I start spinning quite close to the spindle. I build up a little bit of twist so I can connect the leader to the fiber. Pick up the loose fibers there, and then I turn my wheel and I walk backwards. I draw yarn out till I have a length about as long as the wheel, and I don't want to go much longer, because otherwise I have to step back from the wheel and I won't be able to turn the wheel easily to add more twist to my yarn. So now I'm giving it an extra couple of spins to make a yarn that's strong enough and has enough twist to ply back on itself. And this is my length of yarn, that's my make of yarn. So now I'm going to wind on, which I do by turning the wheel a bit backwards, the opposite direction that I was spinning in, to get the yarn to away from the tip of the spindle. So I bring it to the middle and I wind on in the same direction, turning the wheel in the same direction as I was spinning. I have about, what's this, 30 centimeters, and I move that back to the tip of the spindle again, and I'm ready to make my second length of yarn. I'm turning and drafting. Adding extra twist. The battery of the camera died, so while that was charging I spun a bit more, and now I can show how to take the cup off, because the paper was rolled in that direction, like this. Now I have to go the other way to take it off. So I take the cup in my hand and I turn the spindle the other way around, and it'll just slide off, and it's really tightly wound on, but because of the paper in the middle, it will just come off. And the other trick I have is that I wanted to show, put this on the end, is that my tensioning system is, here is a big screw, and I stick a chopstick in, and I have my prepared wool stuck here, so that every time I walk forward and I'm at the end of my and I walk forward when I wound on my yarn, and I'm at the end of a rolag, then I can just pick up another one and continue spinning, so I don't have to stop and or bend to grab some out of the basket on the ground or something like that. So this is easier and easier to pick up.